June 6th, 2008, peak cinema was achieved. Jack Black, Jackie Chan, Angelina Jolie, Seth Rogen, all-star cast. It also fits perfectly within Joseph Campbell's story formula called The Hero's Journey. What's the hero's journey, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. The hero's journey is a narrative framework that applies to many classic stories. If your story has a hero, it most likely fits this framework. Most of us know that a majority of films follow a three-act structure. You have the departure, also known as the call to adventure, the initiation, or the beginning of our journey, and the return, also known as the hero's transformation. The formula of the hero's journey has 12 stages that are divided into these three acts, and I'll tell you more about them as we go along. Act 1, the call to adventure. First off, we need to set up our ordinary world. We meet Poe, our hero. He's always dreamed of being something amazing, something awesome, but he's just a lowly panda making some noodles. A panda with a goose father. Don't know how that happened. I have to establish early on in this video just how inept pandas are. They may technically be bears, but they are no more than a giant stuffed teddy bear that can move. Literally. The reason why I need y'all to know how inept pandas are is that every character doubts Poe at some point throughout this story. They simply cannot believe that this is the Dragon Warrior. They really emphasize Poe's inabilities in the beginning, and it's so funny. This is the Furious Five. They are a group of kung fu-ers who are training to become the Dragon Warrior. The Dragon Warrior is someone who is prophesied to bring peace to the valley in which these animals live. Poe looks up to these people, who are animals. I'm just gonna call them people from now on. In the first stage, the ordinary world, we set up the mundaneness of Poe's life. We show that Poe is not satisfied with his life making noodles and he has bigger dreams.
We all have our place in this world. Mine is here, and yours is...
I know, is here.
We actually get a hint at the reward here. The reward is a stage in Act 3. Poe's goose father mentions that Poe is almost ready to learn the secret ingredient of his special noodle soup. There is another reward mentioned in the story, the Dragon Scroll. We get some more information about that here too.
Who is worthy to be trusted with the secret to limitless power? I don't know.
And we quickly transition into the call to adventure when it is announced that the Dragon Warrior will be chosen. In the call to adventure, a catalyst beckons the hero to leave their comfort zone. This is when our villain, Tai Lung, is introduced.
Tai Lung will return.
This seems technically in stage 1, and Master Oogway shares his vision with Shifu. Now, there are 4 different ways a story can transition into this stage. The hero can decide to go forth of his own volition. An example of this is when Frodo accepts the responsibility of taking the One Ring to Rivendell in The Lord of the Rings. They can be sent abroad by an external force, like when Harry Potter receives his letters from Hogwarts. They could stumble upon the adventure as a result of a mere blunder, like how Alice falls down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. Or they could be casually walking by and they spot something in the corner of their eye and curiosity takes over. In The Matrix, Neo notices the phrase "follow the white rabbit" on his computer, and when he sees a woman with a white rabbit tattoo, he follows her, and then he's drawn into the mystery of the Matrix. In a way, Poe both chooses his adventure and stumbles upon it. He is so excited to learn who the new Dragon Warrior He's so excited to learn who the new Dragon Warrior will be that he will do literally anything to see the show. He tries many different ways and eventually lands on a dynamite cart. Literally. He winds up taking flight and lands in the middle of the arena where the Dragon Warrior candidates are competing. Master Oogway then declares that Poe is the Dragon Warrior, and no one believes him.
What? 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 What?
The next stage is the refusal of the call. This is a quick one. Poe feels inadequate and like he doesn't belong in the Jade Palace. He thinks of going back home and leaving the call behind, but he doesn't. Spoilers. Up next, stage 4, meeting the mentor. That kind of rhymes. What's actually interesting about this film is that the mentor, Shifu, does not believe in Po at first.
That flabby panda can't possibly be the answer to our problem.
He actually technically refuses the call as well. Typically, the mentor is someone who provides wisdom to our hero. He also can provide tools or training that can help the hero succeed later on in our story. Usually, they want to help the hero out. A good example of that is when Obi-Wan teaches Luke Skywalker about the Force and then trains him to become a Jedi. So it is really interesting that Shifu is like the complete opposite. In fact, he makes it his mission to prove that Po is not the Dragon Warrior.
Oogway may have picked you, but when I'm through with you, I promise you, you're going to wish he hadn't.
And we've made it through Act 1. Woohoo! Congrats. In Act 2, the hero leaves the ordinary world and enters the unknown, or a new world, where they face challenges, form allies, and confront enemies. Act 2 is the longest of the 3 acts. The first act of Stage 2 is called Crossing the Threshold. This is when Po decides to commit to the journey of becoming the Dragon Warrior. Remember back in Act 1 when I mentioned how Po both chooses and stumbles upon his adventure? This is the stage where Po decides to stick to the course and begin training. He doesn't quite believe that he's the Dragon Warrior, but he's gonna take this opportunity to do something more interesting with his life. It is not easy at first, though. Po feels inadequate physically and stumbles his way through the obstacle course. This is the beginning of Po's training. Po feels defeated. He talks to Master Oogway and asks why the heck was he declared the Dragon Warrior, and Oogway actually responds with some really wise words.
Quit, don't quit. Noodles.
Wow, wiser words have never been spoken. No, but seriously, Master Oogway encourages Po to continue with his training, and Po decides to continue to stick with the training rather than quitting and going home, back to the ordinary world. There's no turning back now. The next stage is called Tests, Allies, and Enemies. This is where our hero goes through tests, forms allies, and meets the enemies. So, Stage 6 is generally, this is Stage 6 by the way. Stage 6 is generally one of the longest stages as our hero is getting used to the world around him. This stage is also where we flesh out characters that are not our hero, like allies and enemies. Po begins speaking with the Furious Five, who also agree that he does not belong there. Po tries to talk to them and start friendships, but they are not open to it. The next day, Po starts his training. This initial training sequence shows both his inability, but also his determination and his excitement to learn.
That was awesome!
Let's go again.
Here, Po claims that he will never quit.
A real warrior never quits.
As they continue training together, the Furious Five actually do become friends with Po, and they even do acupuncture on him, which we all know is the sign of true friendship. They also trauma dump, but not their trauma. Here is where we learn the full backstory of our villain, Tai Lung. Angelina Jolie tells us that Shifu found Tai Lung as a baby, he trained him. Uh-oh, Tai Lung's evil. Then Oogway entered the password into his chest and he was put in jail. I am such a good storyteller. Subscribe if you want to hear more. We also learn that Tai Lung escapes prison in this stage. I actually think the sequence of Tai Lung escaping prison is pretty sick. I mean, look at that. They also really hype him up. Like, until this point of the story, they did a really good job of establishing, like, everyone's fear for this character. They built a special prison just for him. That is insane. Once Tai Lung escapes, we learn that he's also after the reward. After Tai Lung escapes, we learn that he's also after the reward, which is the Dragon Scroll and the title of Dragon Warrior.
The real Dragon Warrior is coming home.
In this film, this stage ends kind of wild. Shifu is still defiant in terms of training Po and goes to Master Shifu for a pep talk. Turns out we only have room for one mentor in this story. Oogway encourages Shifu and tells him that Po is different and blah, 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 blah. He's not like the others. He also dies. Huh? I'm just glad I'm not the only one confused by Master Oogway disappearing in floating pink leaves.
What are you? What?
This marks the end of the stage, Test Allies and Enemies. Those three aspects of the story still develop throughout the story, but it's mainly established here. Now we get to really dive into the big action of the story. The next stage is called The Approach to the Inmost Cave. The Inmost Cave is usually referring to the most dangerous part of the New World. Here in this stage, we also cover all of the prep work needed to defeat the villain. This is not the epic battle at the climax. We still have got ways to go. This stage is more like when Luke and Han rescue Leia from the Death Star, rather than when the rebels destroy and blow up the Death Star. In case you didn't know, I'm a fan of Star Wars. Poe begins to prepare for his fight with Tai Lung after Shifu declares that he's the only one who can stop him.
He is coming for the Dragon Scroll, and you are the only one who can stop him.
We also get to see here that Poe much prefers this new world rather than the ordinary world, because even though, like, he's not necessarily doing well and he doesn't believe he's the Dragon Warrior, he wants to change and be better, even though he doesn't know if that's possible. Sometimes heroes enjoy the new world and sometimes they don't. An example of when a hero does not enjoy the new world is Gladiator. He was extremely unhappy in that world, new world, for many reasons. Led by Jennifer Lopez, the Fabulous Five take on Tai Lung in a fight. As this happens, Shifu finds a way to train Poe. Food! This sequence starts off really jokingly, but as it continues, we can see that Poe has what it takes to be the Dragon Warrior, but he just needs a little direction. See this little pose? This is an Olympic level gymnast right here. Steven Nedorozic better watch out. Shifu takes Poe to the Pool of Sacred Tears. Apparently it's the birthplace of Kung Fu. This is where Poe begins his true training, and we have a fun montage! Yay! The training montage ends with Shifu and Poe in a battle over a dumpling. This is where we as the audience get to see how much Poe has grown and what he's learned. It's the payoff to the big montage that we just had. And with that, we finished all the prep work needed to defeat the villain. Well, most of it, at least. Our next stage is the ordeal. Ooh, scary. This is where our hero faces his biggest challenge yet, and it often involves life and death stakes. Joseph Campbell, the guy who made this whole thing that we're talking about, Joseph Campbell often refers to this as the belly of the whale.
Our battle will be legendary!
We start this stage with the Furious Five facing Tai Lung in a battle. They attempt to take him down. Also, Seth Rogen holds everyone up on a bridge.
Go!
Let's just take a moment to appreciate this guy. This is a praying mantis, and praying mantises, manti. A praying mantis can range from 2 to 5 inches. This little 2 to 5 inch bug is holding up a tiger, a monkey, a viper, a crane, and a snow leopard. Let's do some math real quick. The average weight of a female tiger ranges from 140 to 170 pounds. The average weight of a golden snub-nosed monkey is 30 pounds. A viper, 6 to 11 pounds. A crane, 6 to 13 pounds. A snow leopard, 99 to 121 pounds. Adding all that up, we have a range of 281 to 545 pounds. This guy, and he isn't the Dragon Warrior, I just spat everywhere. Even with the insanely buff but super tiny Seth Rogen on their side, the Furious Five are unable to defeat Tai Lung. Remember when Oogway typed the password onto Tai Lung's chest? Well, this guy said, never again. He hacked all their passwords and shut him down. They then return to Shifu and to Poe. This scares Poe, and rightfully so. Poe left training feeling confident, but now that confidence is shaken. He feels really bad. He's doubting his abilities. Shifu then chooses to reveal the Dragon Scroll in a moment of desperation. Both he and Poe are clearly doubting whether or not he's ready, but they don't really have a choice.
Read it, Poe, and fulfill your destiny, and become the Dragon Warrior.
Whoa!
Dramatically, Poe opens up the Dragon Scroll, only to reveal
It's blank.
gasp! What the freak? Now, this is what we in the business like to call a false defeat. Or at least that's what my professor called it. In this moment, our characters feel devastated. This is the critical moment in the story that will inform every decision that the hero makes after this point in our story. No one knows what to do here, so Shifu decides that he will fight Tai Lung. And with this, we enter Act 3, The Return, the hero's transformation. Even though the next stage is called The Reward, we're starting it on a low note. Po and the Furious Five begin to escape the valley. Po is utterly defeated. He did not become who he hoped and he feels inadequate. He is right back where he started, at home, making noodles. He has a heart-to-heart with his father, and he even says that he can't believe he's his father's son, which leads to a pretty funny misdirect.
Sometimes I can't believe I'm actually your son.
Po, I think it's time I told you something I should have told you a long time ago. The secret ingredient of my secret ingredient soup.
Oh.
Hear that music changing in the background? Gold. I love it. Here is where the secret ingredient is revealed. I wonder what it is.
The secret ingredient is nothing.
Huh?
To make something special, you just have to believe it's special.
Oh, okay. Right, sure. This is a clear parallel to the Dragon Scroll. I mean, Po even pulls it out right here. As he unravels the Dragon Scroll, he's actually able to see his reflection within the shimmer of the page. This is so good. Here's where the moral of the story is. In the beginning, Shifu described the Dragon Scroll as having the secret to limitless power. Po had the power within him the whole time. Throughout this entire film, Po, and everyone else, doubted that he had the ability to become the Dragon Warrior. Here we are shown that he is exactly what is needed to restore peace within the valley and defeat Tai Lung. That is the reward that the stage is named after. Within the structure of the hero's journey, the reward is the object or the knowledge the hero has fought the entire journey to hold. Po has earned his prize. This section can also be called Seizing the Sword, which I believe is in reference to the story of King Arthur and when he pulls the sword from the stone. We are now on the road back. This is when our hero begins to return home, but there are still challenges he has to face. In this story, it's when Po goes to confront Tai Lung. Shifu and Tai Lung begin their confrontation. They have a meaningful conversation that quickly devolves into a physical fight. There are a lot of beautiful shots in this scene. As they fight, Shifu gets weaker and he's unable to defeat Tai Lung. As Tai Lung picks up Shifu, he sees, the Dragon Scroll has been taken. We knew that already. And that's pretty much the end of this stage. I know it was quick, but Po was pretty much already where he needed to be at the end of the stage. Our penultimate stage is called the Resurrection. Big word alert. I'm so smart. The Resurrection is the true climax of our story. Po faces his final test and he uses the reward that he gained in order to succeed. Everything that's happened prior to this point culminates in a crowning test for our hero. It is in this final battle that our hero has a final resurrection. What does that mean? Well, no, that would be a spoiler. Hush now. Po arrives in the nick of time, saving Shifu. This shot contrast is so good. Tai Lung is standing in darkness with all these cool tones around him. Then we cut to Po and he's got all this light behind him and it's orange, warmer, and it shows that he's bringing light into the darkness for this valley that needs peace restored. It's just, oh, so good. It's also so funny that his grand and dramatic entrance is happening while he's like heaving and folded over because he can't breathe. But it's all justified when he says the most epic line.
Buddy, I am the Dragon Warrior.
Po and Tai Lung begin their battle over the Dragon Scroll. Po sits on Tai Lung's face. Funny stuff. There are a lot of great moments that show that Po is still a goofy, clumsy panda, but he also now has the ability to defeat Tai Lung and to protect the valley. There's a direct callback as when he uses fireworks to propel himself forward. There's a moment where Po visualizes the scroll as a cookie. Tai Lung thinks that his jumping up for the cookie means that he has like these incredible powers, and it's just so funny.
The scroll has given him power!
Big booms. Okay, I wrote big booms down in my notes for this video, but I really don't know what it means. Let's take a look, shall we? Was it good? We think Po is defeated when Tai Lung finally takes hold of the scroll. I love that when Tai Lung opens the scroll, he says, "It's nothing," like to his reflection.
It's nothing!
This is a contrast to when Po looks at it and says, "Everything." I'm doing the thing a lot. I just get excited when cool stuff happens. Remember the secret code thing? The hacking, the password thing that has been so devastating on every opponent? Let's see what happens to Po.
Stop it! I'm gonna pee! Don't!
Interesting reaction. During their fight, Po begins to overpower Tai Lung. That's our guy! The battle culminates into this one moment. The Wuxi finger hold. This was hinted at in Act 1 when Shifu was trying to scare Po away. Let's take a look.
Then you must know what happens when I flex my pinky.
No.
The hardest part is cleaning up afterwards.
The anticipation is killing me. What happens when he flexes the finger?
Skadoosh.
What? This is when our final resurrection occurs. In an epic moment of triumph, Po emerges from the billowing dust as the Dragon Warrior. Even though it's played off as a mini joke with the pot and the apron, it still shows that Po has become an amazing thing, something he's always dreamt of being. It actually works even better with the pot and the apron, because it was his father's secret ingredient that gave Po his inner strength. We're now in our final stage, the return with the elixir. The elixir is a gift that the hero brings back to the community. It can be an object or knowledge or insight gained. Po has defeated Tai Lung and brought peace to the valley. And he's celebrated in the valley.
That's my boy!
His father's proud. Even the Furious Five verbally acknowledge him as the Dragon Warrior.
Master.
Master Shifu!
This then reminds Po of Shifu, who's still on the ground dying in the Jade Palace. Just to remind y'all, the prophecy at the beginning was stated that whoever becomes the Dragon Warrior will bring peace to the valley and to Shifu. And here's where the second half becomes true.
You have brought peace to this valley and to me.
And then Shifu dies. I'm kidding! It was a prank. Don't fret.
You wanna get something to eat?
Yeah.
The song for the final credits is sung by Jack Black and CeeLo Green. Amazing. And we have an end credit scene. It's short, but it emphasizes the peace that Po has brought to the valley and to Shifu as they're sitting under this tree. The final shot racks focus onto this tiny sapling on the ground. This is symbolism for Po. In the beginning, when Shifu and Uguay were discussing Po, they talk about planting a seed and controlling how it grows, but not what it is. And here the sapling is just starting to sprout. Po has so much ahead of him. And that's the film. As you can see, Kung Fu Panda aligns pretty perfectly with The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell, making it a perfect film. The fact that you have a stacked cast just gives you bonus points. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. It gave me an excuse to watch this movie again, and I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I have a vivid memory of me and my brother on a playground as a kid, and I was Tigress and he was Po. And we saved the people of the playground because we were heroes. Thank you so much for watching this video and getting to this point. If you're here, you're a real one. Comment below your thoughts on this movie. Do you agree with what I said? You should, because I'm right. But if you have an incorrect opinion, comment it below. I really do want to see what y'all think. If you liked this video, give it a like so I know. And maybe you'll see more videos like this from me in the future. You definitely will if you subscribe. All right, again, thank you so much for watching. You rock, and I'm rolling out. See you next time. Whoa. That was me rolling out.